The Peter Schiff Show.
And, I think that Goldline, unfortunately, is going to create a serious black eye on the entire precious metals industry. It's going to put a black eye and destroy credibility of a lot of conservative radio talk show hosts who have endorsed wholeheartedly this company. And it's going to put a black eye on everything that these conservative talk show hosts espouse. Free market principles, capitalism, laissez-faire, limited government. I mean, you couldn't have scripted this any better for the left, because they're going to be able to come in. I think there's certainly, there's going to be some kind of civil charges, maybe criminal charges, in my opinion. I don't know, but it's going to end very badly, and it's going to allow the left to come to the rescue of the poor people who have been ripped off and defrauded by this company, with aided and abetted by conservative talk show hosts. It plays into all the worst stereotypes that the left has of big government. And, it's up to their competitors to shine a light of truth on this. I've seen some people say, hey, you're just bad-mouthing them because you're trying to compete with them. Well, of course, that's how capitalism works. If there's a company that is grossly overcharging their customers and, in fact, defrauding their customers, their competition, that's how you bring it out. You show, hey, you don't have to overcharge. You don't have to overpay. Come here, buy here. Well, you can save money. That's how capitalism works. And I'm using the words fraud because it's clear to me, based on the phone conversation that was sent to me today, that at least this particular Goldline representative committed fraud on numerous occasions during this phone call. Now, I'm not a lawyer, right? So this is just my lay opinion of what I think fraud is. But as far as I'm concerned, it's fraud. And if I was a lawyer, I probably could convince a jury that it was fraud. But I'll give you a little background on why I even have this taped conversation. An individual emailed me who's a fan of Glenn Beck's, also a fan of mine, and was thinking I was being too hard on Goldline, on Glenn Beck, that they can't possibly be that bad. Glenn Beck's a good guy. He would never recommend that his audience call up a company if they weren't fair and reputable. He just didn't believe what I was saying because he was such a Glenn Beck fan. But again, he was also a fan of mine. And we went back and forth. We exchanged emails. And eventually I said, look, don't take my word for it. Just call him up. Call him up. Call him up and ask him, call him up to buy some gold and see what they tell you. Anyway, he did that apparently. And then he sent me back an email. And here's what he said to me. Hi, Peter. I took you up on your challenge to call the company posing as a newbie interested in precious metals. You win. I recorded the call in the attached MP3 file. They tried to sell me British sovereign coins for $601.14 a piece, 70% markup from the spot price of gold. Even though I couldn't pick a worse vehicle for gold than the one she is recommending, this exact coin is selling at Goldline's competitors for $395. So Goldline is selling the coins for 50% more money than their competitors, and of course, they're not even good coins to buy. Quote, if someone with no previous background is trying to invest in gold with Goldline, they're probably going to lose their shirt. I will take what I've found and try to contact Glenn Beck and look for a response. I'll let you know what happens. If you want to use the file, feel free. However, please delete my name off the end of the recording. Have a great weekend. Anyway, don't go away. After the break, I am going to... Welcome back. This is Peter Schiff on SchiffRadio.com. Talking about the taped conversation I've gotten. I'm not playing the recording. I have it. I'm not sure legally what the rules were if this recording was supposed to be made. I don't know. I forget what state it was from or what the rules were. But I do know that Goldline also recorded it because the representative, the account executive that he was transferred to, or there was a played recording that said that they were speaking on a recorded line. So Goldline also has this conversation recorded. And again, it is very important that people on the right, people that believe in the free market, come out and criticize a company like Goldline when they are basically defrauding their customers. We can't just wait for the left to criticize them. We have to do it ourselves, and we have to bring this out through the free market. And hopefully some other conservative talk show hosts will come out and condemn this type of behavior instead of defend it. Instead of trying to defend it, because then you end up looking like a hypocrite. Anyway, so here's what happens. So this guy calls up, and he's posing as a novice, and he asks the lady for a recommendation. Now, the woman says, why do you want to buy gold? What's your motivation? And he said, I want to make money. I'm looking for an investment. And then she came back and said, okay, so you're looking for growth and appreciation. And he said, that's right. And then she said, well, how old are you? And the guy says he's 26 or 27. And he says, are you comfortable with a 3 to 5 year hold? And he said, yes. And she said, great. Now, of course, the reason they're saying you need 3 to 5 year hold is because the markups are so huge that you need usually at least 3 to 5 years. Even with 10% appreciation a year, you need 3 to 5 years just to break even on your investment. That's why they make sure that you can hold them long term, because it takes a long time to get your money back. And that's assuming that gold keeps going up. But in any event, so then she came back and said, well, I recommend the fractional gold coins. And by fractional, she means coins where you don't get a full ounce of gold in a coin. And she recommended some European coins, British sovereigns, these Deutschmarks. And she said the reason that I'm recommending these coins is because many of the experts think that gold is going to go to $5,000 an ounce, and you'll get more bang for your buck if you buy these coins. And I'm quoting her exactly. You will get more bang for your buck if you buy these coins. Now, the coins that she was selling them for 70% above the spot price of gold, 50% above what competitors were selling similar coins for. Now, of course, if they had bought Maple Leafs or Cougarans, maybe they would have paid 5% above the spot price. But by buying these coins, they were paying 70% above the spot price, which means if the price of gold went up 70%, you would get no bang for your buck. This person who told Goldline that the only reason they were buying coins was because they wanted to profit from the rise in the price of gold, they were buying them as an investment, not to be a collector, was told an outright lie by the representative that they would get more bang for their buck if they bought these fractional coins. Well, they don't get any bang. All the bang goes to Goldline. Basically, the guy was going to get for $10,000, and she actually said that he should invest up to 20% of his net worth in these coins, 20% of his net worth, which means about 10% of his net worth would have evaporated the minute his check cleared. But for $10,000, he would have gotten 17 of the coins that he recommended, $10,222. He could have bought the coins from a competitor, and instead of only getting 17 coins, for $50 more, he would have got 26 coins, which is an extra 9 coins, which is $5,400 based on what Goldline was charging. In other words, of the $10,000 that this individual was investing, $6,000 went into gold and $4,000 went into Goldline's pockets. And she's trying to tell him that he gets more bang for his buck. Well, he only has $6,000 worth of gold. Gold's going to have to appreciate another $4,000, 70%, and he still hasn't even broke even. Whereas if he had bought Maple Leafs or Cougarans, if gold prices go up by 70%, he'd have a 65% profit. On $10,000, that's over $6,000 of profit that he would have had if he would have bought Maple Leafs, but that's $6,000 of profits that he doesn't have because he followed this woman's advice to get more bang for his buck and buy these fractional gold coins. And the reason that this individual would have been ripped off of $6,000, assuming that gold were to appreciate by 70%, is because Goldline wanted to put $4,000 in their pocket and take it out of the pocket of this prospect. And, of course, a lot of that $4,000 ends up in the pockets of the talk show hosts where they advertise in the form of advertising dollars. Now, what else did she say, too, on this phone call? She said that these particular coins that she was recommending, these fractional gold coins, and she also called them a great buy. She looked them up, she got a price, and she said, they're a great buy right now. How are they a great buy? You're paying 70% above the price of spot, and that's a great buy? My gosh. But then she said, these are the coins I buy for myself. These are the coins I recommend that my friends and family members buy. I call bullshit on that one. I'd like to, if I were to subpoena the records, if I was a client and I was trying to get fraud, there's no way that she's selling any of these coins to her friends and family members. If she is, she's not marking them up 70%. And if she is marking them up 70% and her family members found out about it, oh my gosh, I mean, she'd be drummed out of the family. But it's one lie after another about why to buy these coins. I mean, describing them as a great buy. And the other thing that she did that really bothers me is she said, if you buy these particular coins, you're protected by our price protection. And meaning that if the price of gold goes down, you can call us up and we'll reset your price to the lower price based on the drop in the price of gold. Well, and she said this protects your downside. This guy, if he would have followed her advice and bought these British sovereign fractional coins, he would have been paying $2,600 an ounce for gold. Now, gold's only $1,500 an ounce. So he's paying $2,600 an ounce. And here's what she said was downside protection. If the price of gold, let's say, dropped $50, they would reprice it from $2,600 to $2,550. Big deal. Gold's only $1,500 an ounce. I mean, they're overcharging by so much. That's how they can afford this price protection. Because when you're marking the coins up 70%, if gold goes down 2 or 3 or 4% and they have to reduce their markup to only 67%, I mean, come on. So it's like, yeah, we rip you off just a little bit less if the price of gold goes down. But I bet this gets a lot of suckers, to buy this, because if you buy Maple Leafs or Cougarans, after all, you don't get that price protection. Well, you don't need it because you're only paying $1,500 an ounce. If you're going to pay $2,600 an ounce, but the real bottom line is he asked for investment advice. He said, I want to buy these coins for an investment. She went and asked him suitability type questions that a stockbroker might ask. How old are you? How long are you willing to hold them? Stuff like that. And then she came back with a recommendation. And I bet that person had every right to believe that this recommendation was based on his desire to make money, not based on the salesman's desire to make a commission. But the only reason this woman, this account executive, recommended these fractional coins was because she made a fortune doing it. Not because it served her customers' interest, but because it served her interest, it served her employer's interest, and it served probably all the talk show hosts' interests who are sharing in the loot in the form of advertising dollars. Anyway, don't go away. This is Peter Schiff. You're listening to SchiffRadio.com, the gold standard in talk radio.